I visited Unipart today to experience firsthand the operation, to meet some of the team and to learn a little bit more about what it is that the organisation's done to secure so many swords over the years that they've been applying. Each year the assessment gets harder and harder, as you would expect, because we're constantly raising the bar, we're constantly looking at continuous improvement. I think the culture of Unipart, from what I've read and from now what I've seen, it's very clear that safety, health and well-being feature in your business processes. So be that things like your employee engagement surveys, as we've seen, your way that you communicate, the way that your safety features in your leadership and safety leadership programs. It is that common thread that runs through it all.
We're good at health and safety because of the Unipart way. It's the way we think, it's the way we behave, and it's fundamental and core to everything that we do. So as a safety professional, it very much supports me in the job that I do, because people have, and they understand the expectations that we have upon them. So that helps for safety. So we can set very clear processes and people follow it. We can give them very clear instructions, people follow it. And through the tools of the Unipart way, we can give them the tools that support them to be empowered to make improvements, to make a difference, and to ensure that all of our colleagues behave in a safe and a healthy way, and that we're supporting each other and we're supporting well-being.
So in order to keep winning these awards, it's really important that you are both stretching yourselves and being stretched by the adjudication process. So I set the criteria and the questions for the applicants to fill, as well as being an adjudicator. And each year I'm looking at what I'm seeing in terms of emerging trends, new issues coming forward, to really drive that continuous improvement agenda forward. So for example, applicants will have seen that well-being has featured much more prevalent. There's been a much more prevalence of well-being and mental health in the awards in recent years, because it's been an emerging area. I've got to say, with the Unipart example and your use of mental health first aiders, your well-being board, and the use of the communications, you guys are right up there, right leading that agenda, but not all organisations are doing that.
So from grassroots up, from induction stage, we work with our agency colleagues and work with our full-time colleagues who work in this building to make sure they understand that their welfare and their well-being is first in our minds, and making sure they're happy workers, because somebody who is mentally feeling good and feeling safe is someone that's going to be productive. It's our very DNA as a company, and it's the way that we all work as people. Unipart people, I've said it before on interviews, are great people, and I genuinely believe that the people that we bring through are the people that embody the right way of working, so repeatable, reliable and capable standard work, but also doing it with that human face. So it's not robotic, it's not saying, this must be the way you work. It's tell me of ways to improve things. We've got really good employee engagement scores with our guys, because they can change the shape of the way they work and make the place safer, make the warehouse a more productive place, just by using their own ideas and their own guidance, working with the team leaders to be able to make it a safer place. So I think lots of other people do standard work and lots of other companies do it, but we do it, I personally think, better than anybody else.
I think it's hugely important to build out your story and to recognise what you've done and to kind of acknowledge the great work that you've done. It does get harder year on year. I think you've got to be really careful to guard against complacency, and I'm not saying that you're doing that at all, far from it, but I think you need to be kind of almost going into the application process each year, starting with what did we learn from last year, what have we seen, and going into it with that same enthusiasm and vigour and rigour every time you put your application in. And that's what I see, and I think that is why you have won so many awards over such a long period of time, that you are kind of coming at it with a fresh, hungry set of eyes each time.
So it's always a challenge on a site like this, because we have quite a large fleet of vehicles that are all diverse and for different specs. Then we have high pedestrian activities, so we have to look a bit further than just normal solution. We also look at digital solutions and technologies that could help For example, we have MHE sensors put on some of the doors, so these would light up and tell a driver when a pedestrian is passing by, so he would stop and not go through the door. We start using digital audits to support, check the operations and make sure all safety aspects are covered and our people are working safely. But I believe a big part of it is behaviors and standards. So we could look at various technologies around the site to implement, but it all comes down to every person individually to look after safety and well-being as well. So we also encourage all our employees to report hazards, any incidents they see. We have site safety rules that everyone has to follow. We look at driver standards as we're trying to constantly promote a safety-first culture.
I think it's really important for organisations like Unipart to be winning these because it acts as both a kind of a promoter of best practice, continuous improvement, galvanising people behind a purpose and a recognition. But also I think it makes absolutely rock solid business sense. I think clients, customers are becoming much more informed these days about who they're choosing to partner and spend their money with. And I think recognition such as the Sword of Honour really sets you aside from other competitors and would mean that it gives a real sense of confidence to customers and clients that you are a trusted partner.